Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm the head of International Department of Braiden Consulting Law Firm. Today, we are about to have an online consultation for all of you guys, subscribers of Welcome to Russia channel. And of course, Maria Butina will join us today. She will answer the questions, the most important ones. So thank you so much for joining our consultation. Together with me today is my colleague Ivanna. Ivanna, how are you doing?
Hi everybody, I'm doing great. Really excited for the conversation tonight. So please tune in, and let's get it all the growth with the RVP and all something.
All right, yeah. The 702 decree, the temporary residence permit on the ground of shared values, is our today's topic, and we're really move forward to discuss to highlight the most important points with this 702 decree with shared values. Well, personally, I'm a big fan of this decree because this law works really well, and I'm really excited to have Maria Butina here with you guys, followers and subscribers of the Welcome to Russia channel. Really nice channel. I mean, here you can get all the information on relocation to Russia if you're about to move with your family members, kids, not only legal stuff, but also cultural and etc. So I'm really excited, and right now we're just waiting for Maria Butina to join us. Meanwhile, you may just think what would you like to ask. Actually, Ivanna, maybe you can tell us that we already have some questions from the participants, right?
Yes, so we already have some questions that we're going to highlight and that we're going to make available. So please stay in and join in throughout. We're going to be able to access more questions as we go through. So please leave them in the chat, and we'll be able to get to them if we have the time. Unfortunately, not all the questions would be able to be answered, but we'll try our best.
All right. So first, we'll just discuss a few questions with Maria, obviously, of course, and then we'll move forward with your questions. And I can see that more and more people are joining here. The weather in Moscow today is quite. I don't know how should I describe it more precisely.
Hard racing.
Heavy raining, and right now it's quite hot. So yeah, this is Russia. Welcome to Russia, guys. We're having really hot summer. Actually, this winter used to be quite hot, right? So it was like -30 or something like this. So yeah. Right now I can see that more and more people are joining us. All right, that's really awesome. Again, let me just once again that today we will talk about temporary residence permit on the ground of shared values, because previously when there was no 702 decree, you could not apply right away for the temporary residence permit. All right, Maria is here. Hello, Maria, can you hear me well?
Hello, yes, I can hear you well, I can see you well, very nice.
Perfect. Very, very interesting background you're having today. So today, me and my colleague Ivanna will make this happen, this consultation for Welcome to Russia. And yeah, let me just begin with some questions, if you don't mind, because again, let me repeat once again, I'm a huge fan of a 702 decree. I love this law. Maria, can you please tell me, did you participate in development of this decree? could you please tell us, like, how the idea itself of its creation came about? A few words, please.
Well, yeah, actually, I was a part of the team that was working on the decree because we saw how many people have interest to move to Russia, and we were thinking how to make it to make the best we could, and to simplify the immigration process. Well, and I think we succeeded. The 702 decree is very popular today. About 200 people each month come to Russia and they stay here. They find their new home here. And so I think that's a success. So, but our laws, they do still need development, so we can actually help people more. That's why we're developing now a special program for those who move to Russia. So to simplify their custom control and to make for them living in Russia easier, to make special program for kids so they can study and they can go to different museums and not paying for that a lot of money, so they can kind of adjust to the Russian culture. So this is a good step, but we have a long path to go as well. And we always appreciate certain experience to share your ideas and everything. That's why we have this group. And I appreciate Braiden's work in helping us, because there are many people who just need deep explanation of the process, and hopefully after that they become clients and sign contract, because it simplifies my life as well. Because we don't do documents, but we do help to people when they need to talk to someone and help what to choose, what region, area, and so on. So it's a long path to go. We see the issues, but again, I think Russia has made a big step toward the people who want to come here because of the spiritual reasons.
Yes, I totally agree here. That's a big deal, because previously, as you may know, I mean, the subscribers of your lovely channel, previously, if you don't have any legal ground for a simplified procedure for temporary or a permanent residence permit, such as marriage with Russian citizen, Russian child, diploma with honors, then you could only for a quota, which is kind of a lottery, so you'll never know. You may win it using your first try, fifth try, or not win at all, right? And then if you would win this quota, you could apply for the temporary residence permit as the first step. But there you had to pass the Russian language, history, and legislation exam. Here, with this 702 decree, you can actually, feel how it's like, living in Russia, right? So you can get your special 702 shared values visa in your home country, in the Russian consulate service, arrive here, collect all the needed documents, and apply for the temporary residence permit without any need of passing Russian language, history, and legislation exam. But, of course, it makes sense. If you want to live in Russia, well, you have to speak Russian. And if you would like to, continue your life here, in order to apply for a permanent residence permit, as we call it, VNJ, you have to pass the Russian language, history, and legislation exam. So you would have at least 3 years just to, feel the culture, learn the Russian language, and then, of course, eventually apply for the permanent residence permit, stay here, and develop. Second question, if you don't mind, about some changes that foreign citizens from unfriendly countries may face. I mean, changes in the legislation, maybe something new, because. But of course, you're a state Duma deputy, so you're the one, the source of this information. Maybe you could share it with us.
Well, I can share only certain things, because there are processes that are today are going to go in so far. So, and I do talk typically about only the results when we reach their goals and our goals. So, in the future, what is to expect is definitely to simplify the process of coming to different immigration offices here in Russia, because I do know you guys face a lot of problems. And because of the language, and you don't understand the people in the immigration and all this stuff. The SIM cards issue by now shall be solved. I know the problem, but now you can go to a bank, and bank will help you to get your SNILs right away. You don't need to go to the different separate organizations and everything. So that's and the next thing. Also, if you want to bring your personal belongings, you shall not be paying like hundreds and hundreds of that, because it's your personal belongings. So this is the next issue that we're gonna solve. And again, the kids. I know there is an issue with passing Russian tests in schools, and many people have been asking me questions about it. Well, that's a law, and when your kid go to school, you probably want him or her to actually do speak the language. Or he or she will just understand nothing. However, let me remind you that homeschooling is allowed today in Russia. So if you want to kind of take your time and so that you can study and your kids can get better in Russian, just choose homeschooling. There is a paperwork you shall do and you're done. Also, there are questions from people about driver's license and why do we need to pass the driver's test? Well, because if you're a part of the road communication, I would put it this way, so you actually drive, you better pass the test, because think about others. Would you like to go on the streets or drive on the streets knowing that people around you never passed the test? Well, that's kind of could be an issue. All right, so these are the upcoming changes, but again, we're open for any ideas from you guys, because you kind of on the front line of what's going on. So just, when you have ideas, you're more than welcome.
Yes, sounds great. Would love to communicate more and more, because of course when we're we're working on certain cases, yes, some of the issues may arise, as you just mentioned, with this issue with the SIM card. I mean, obviously, of course, government has to control this particular aspect. But let's say if you just want to visit Russia, just that would be your first time here, and you're about to spend here, I don't know, 7 days. Well, in order to, and obviously you have to have the internet connection, like the mobile one, and yeah, you would spend like a couple of days just to go into this MPC, then to bank, going back to the MPC, approve your Gosuslugi account, etc. Then finally you can go to the mobile operator's office. So yes, this is the hot topic, and if we can still control people and from the other end just make it a little bit easier for them just to navigate, that would be awesome. Of course.
Thank you for your ideas. Okay, but again, that's a process that takes time. Russia before,
of course,
like recently, 4 or 5 years ago, we just started to work with the immigrants from West. It has happened in Russian history actually many times, but in the US in the recent history, that's the first one. So we are trying to adjust the law from scratch, basically. So just take your time and give us time.
Yeah, and we can see these changes, and we can see how it rapidly changes. I mean, we have so many feedbacks, especially from people like foreign citizens from unfriendly countries, because they could not even that was nearly impossible just to relocate, let's say, from the US, from Australia, from Canada. We have clients from New Zealand, okay, because previously they would not even consider relocation to Russia as the actual option. But right now, having these changes in migration legislation, they can do it. So this is a very, and I just want to thank you, because again, we're really excited with this kind of changes, and looking forward with upcoming changes as well. So Ivanna, maybe we could start answering some questions, since Maria is here, and she can just help us out with some of the questions maybe, and then we would continue answering your questions from the subscribers of the Welcome to Russia.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Michael. So let's proceed with the questions we have available already. So who has the right to apply for a TRP based on shared values? Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, well, this is the very basic question. Maybe Maria would answer it. So who are these guys that have this right to apply for the 702 visa, and then eventually apply for the temporary residence permit?
I think this is to you guys, because let me answer to the substantial questions that are closer to the legislative power, because we made a decree for you, so it's better if you are the practitioners. So I know how much Braiden does in terms of working with the actual documents. So how about I have several minutes left. How about you go to the next question, which I'm more than happy to cooperate. Maybe people have questions. That's fine. But in the actual process, like step 1, step 2, step 3, I mean, you better than me. We made the law, we see it's working, but in going into details, I think you guys are better than me.
Thank you. Really, really appreciate. So, Ivanna, maybe you could just choose a certain question, which is not about legal stuff, but more about, let's say, geography. Like, for example, if I would be that person who've never been to Russia before, right? I would just ask Maria, where should I actually go? So, what is the best place to live here in Russia? Yes, Russia is the biggest country in the world. So what do you think about that?
It depends what you would like. So if you prefer a seashore, you can go to Sochi or Krasnodar or Crimea. If you prefer mountains, Vladikavkaz is your best choice, Chechnya, Dagestan, or maybe other places. Also, I would suggest, if you like something closer to the very nice development and the humid climate, Vladivostok might be your choice, and Sakhalin Islands. Industrial one, Moscow, and cultural ones, St. Petersburg. If you would like something that agriculture related, I would choose Central Russia, like Kaluzhskaya Oblast, or maybe Yaroslavskaya Oblast or somewhere else. So it's just up to you. I think one who is planning a trip to Russia, thinking of moving to Russia, should make their checklist, like what I would like. That's not my thoughts. I've been in Kaluzhskaya Oblast for family, and they told me this is how they did it. So they said, well, we want something historical. We want to have our farm. We want to be close enough to the city. And so they kind of made a map, and they chose Kaluzhskaya Oblast, but they've never been there before.
Yeah, that's a nice tip, actually. Just if you have never been before to Russia, you may make some sort of a checklist, or maybe just make a first visit just to see around and pick up your favorite climate zone as well, because again, everything is very different here. Ivanna, maybe you have some questions, some general question about relocation to Russia, so Maria could give us some tips or insights.
Yes, of course. So imagine I'm a foreigner and we're looking at I want to read Russia. there are different outlets available, and I don't know, I have an idea where I want to go, but I'm a foreigner, I want to move to Russia. What do I do? Where do I go? Because Maria, you have the Welcome to Russia Fund, and we would like to know more on the what do I do? Which resources do I consult? How do I go about it? Thank you so much.
Well, I would suggest to look for the groups on social networks first. Find Welcome to Russia initiative and talk to those who have experience. There are a lot of videos on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Telegram for sure. I would create an account on VK because you kind of get a sense of Russian content, which I think is also nice. And just ask questions of those who have done it. So just ask people about their experience. This is my best advice. And go to professionals, and then you go and study and everything. There are very nice groups that may actually help you, but be careful because some information could be just the rumors and emotions. So check, trust but verify.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. You need to go far because we have Braiden Consulting. We have this chat. It's called the Live Do Business in Russia chat, where we give advice. It's where you can book a free consultation with us after the advice. So this is what we do every day. We share the information that foreigners need in order to move to Russia, to do it simply in a simpler way, to do it quicker, to do it more efficient, and to do it actually fear-free, because it's the fear of not knowing something, moving to a different country, to a different culture. There's the so-called mentality that we're talking about of a different country, of the different people. And we are really happy that we can provide this help and assistance together in partnership with Welcome to Russia and Maria Butina. Thank you, Maria.
All right, if you have any questions, here's what I ask you. Since you guys are so nice working for Braiden, if people have questions when I leave, because I have a next interview very soon, just let me know and we can post the answers in our group. I would also suggest to have sometimes these meetings because I see there is certain interest to that. Welcome to Russia, and I will be always available for you as usual.
Maria, thank you so much. Please, everyone, join Welcome to Russia channel. See you around, Maria. And right now, we will just continue this consultation, and we'll answer these, legal stuff, legal questions. We'll be very happy to help you guys. Thanks again, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Yeah.
All right, Ivanna. So let's get back to our legal questions. So let's start from the very first, the very beginning. So you asked about who can apply, right?
Yeah, let's get back to business. Who can apply for the temporary residence permit based on the shared values 702 decree?
Well, very simple. You have to be a foreign citizen from a so-called unfriendly country. So there is a list of unfriendly countries. So that means that, you have to have the citizenship of this country. That means that you can, get your 702 shared values visa in Russian Consulate Service, arrive here in Russia, and apply for the temporary residence permit on the ground of shared values. So who has the right? The answer is a foreign citizen from unfriendly country. You can check the list of unfriendly countries in our Telegram group, Live and Do Business in Russia. And also you can find information in this lovely Welcome to Russia group.
Thanks, Michael. So say we have the unfriendly country list. Then imagine I have the citizenship of an unfriendly country, but I reside in a friendly country. Do I still have the right to apply for a TRP on the basis of shared values or not?
Yes, sure. We had a client, and if I'm not wrong, he had like 4 different citizenships. One of them was a friendly one. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So if you have a citizenship of unfriendly country, then obviously you can apply for the 702 decree. That's for the shared values, for the temporary residence permit on the ground of shared values. That's right.
So we're talking TRP, the temporary residence permit is short for TRP. What are the actual benefits of it? Because we're using this word so often, but what does it actually include? Why is it so important? Why do we at Braiden Consulting, Michael, spread the word about temporary residence permit? What benefits does it have?
Well, let me start from the very beginning. The temporary residence permit is the stamp in your passport. So they put this stamp, RVP stamp, then they put the 3-year multiple entry visa, so you could travel, and also you can get stamped with the so-called permanent registration. So the biggest advantage is that after you get your temporary residence permit, you'll be recognized as a resident of Russia. So that means, for example, from the employment point of view, you can get hired by a Russian company, like a Russian citizen. So for them, they don't need any additional, permits or something like this. So if they could choose between a foreign citizen with an international background and the Russian citizen, it's kind of easy to choose a foreign citizen with RVP, with a temporary residence permit. And also a temporary residence permit is the first step if you would like to eventually get a Russian citizenship or getting the permanent residence permit. Because again, the temporary residence permit is issued for 3 years, but after 8 months of holding your temporary residence permit, you can apply for a permanent residence permit, which is issued forever. So you can, live here forever.
Happy living forever in Russia.
Welcome to Russia. Live here. Yep.
Great stuff. Welcome to Russia, indeed. And stay here for as long as you want to. And we're really happy to see you. So now we're done. And what are the actual steps? We asked Maria, what do we do when we just first approach the question? And now let's discuss the steps to get the TRP on the basis of the 702 decree on the shared values.
All right. Well, real quick. First, if you have any valid Russian visa, then you can apply for the temporary residence permit. Let's say if you're already here in Russia with any type of visa, you can apply for the temporary residence permit on the ground of shared values. Of course, if you share these values. Then, if you're outside of Russia, you've never been here before, then the very first step is to get the special 702 visa. In short, you have to fill out the online application form. There is no invitation. So you just fill out this online application form. You'll get the calendar with certain, available time slots like date and time. So then you'll go to the Russian consulate service for an interview, very basic interview. They all, normally they ask about your background, future plans in Russia, and you really share these traditional family values. Then within, I would say, like as practice shows, after 5-10 business days, you'll get your visa. And this is the single entry visa valid for 90 days. So thus you can move to Russia and apply for the temporary residence permit. Here, an important aspect. You have to get only one document from your home country, which is the police clearance certificate with apostille. Very important. So apostille gives your document the legal force here in Russia. And the rest of the documents shall be collected here in Russia. Just please choose the region where you want to live before your actual relocation to Russia, because the nature of the temporary residence permit is that it issued for a certain region. Let's say Moscow and outside of Moscow, we call it Moscow Oblast, are 2 different regions. So if you arrive in Russia, if you arrive in Moscow, you'll have your registration in Moscow. That means that you can apply for the temporary residence permit here, and eventually it will be issued to Moscow. So Moscow would be your base, let's say for the first 3 years, right? And this is the thing. So these are the very first steps. To sum up, first, if you're here in Russia with a valid visa, apply for the temporary residence permit with this visa. If you're outside of Russia, go to the official consulate service, to the official website of Russian consulate service, fill out the online application, go to the Russian consulate service in person for an interview, get your visa stamp there, get your police clearance with apostille, then fly to Russia.
Thank you so much, Michael, and thank you for listing all these important aspects, because this is really the key information that we get asked on a lot. So it's really handy to have it. And if you haven't remembered everything that Michael has listed, you can always consult the Live Do Business in Russia chat. We have posts with some information like that available for you to always have it on hand when you're considering to make your move to Russia. Thank you again, Michael. So we know that there is a consideration period for an application, for the TRP application. So imagine I have a family, I need to visit them where I'm from. The question is, do I need to remain in Russia throughout the whole period of consideration of my temporary residence permit, or is there something else that I can do?
Mm-hmm. So let's say you've got your 90 days 702 visa, right? So this is the single entry visa, right? Your goal, your task actually is to apply. So that means that it's to be accepted with your documents by the immigration authority here in Russia for the temporary residence permit. So again, you get your visa, arrive here, and within this time frame of 90 days, you have to be accepted with your documents. If you're accepted, that means that after 4 months, or even earlier, like 3 months, you will get your temporary residence permit. If for some reason you have to exit Russia, just fly away, that's totally possible. And I would say like some of our clients actually do that. So they, we collect all the needed documents here in Russia. They apply for it, submit their documents. Then they would get their acceptance letter. So with this acceptance letter is the fact that for 4 months they will get their temporary residence permit. They can fly away. That's totally possible. So you can exit Russia and wait outside. And then again, if you have your 702 visa, which is a single entry visa, in that case you will need to get any type of visa to come back to Russia and collect your temporary residence permit. So yes, the answer is, of course, there's no such restriction. You can exit Russia while you're waiting for the temporary residence permit.
That's great news. So now, having that in mind, how long does the whole process usually take?
Well, okay, good question. Well, let's calculate, right? All right. Let's say you're in your home country. So first, fill out the online application form and get a certain appointment, right? So let's say it would take like a week or so. It depends actually on your home country, because we have this feedback from Germany that the consulate service in Germany works as follows. If you would like, so let's say you've completed your online application form, then you want to choose a certain date and time for an interview. The queue there, the waiting time is huge there. Well, it used to be a couple of months ago. Normally, there are available time slots for the maybe next week or so. All right, so let's consider like 2 weeks. Okay, if you've already obtained your clearance certificate, then well, you're good to go. Because again, you have to have only your visa from your home country and the police clearance certificate with apostille. That's it. So 2 weeks plus when you're here in Russia, I would say it takes around 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. It depends on your on how fast you are actually. Because here in Russia, you have to get your registration. Do the medicals, fill out the application for the temporary residence permit, which is the main document here. Of course, we as lawyers, we recommend to start working with us if you want from the very beginning, so we could control every step, right? Because the main point here is to be sure that you will be accepted for the temporary residence permit. And migration authorities at the submission date, they check your documents very carefully, because this is their approach. The idea is that if your documents are accepted, then after 4 months you will be given with a temporary residence permit. Of course, if you would give them fake documents or provide them with false information during this consideration period, they would refuse to give you the temporary residence permit. But if you're if you're honest, right, with open heart, everything's going to be okay. And approximately takes, well, I would say 1 month, 2 months just to collect everything, gather everything, prepare and apply. Also, please note that different regions of Russia have different rules for acceptance of documents. Let's say, for instance, in Moscow, if you have the complete package of documents, next step is to upload these documents on the official website of Sakharova Migration Center. And only then you can get a certain date for an appointment. Right now, it's going to be like in 3 weeks in minimum. So again, you have 90 days visa, right? You spend 4 weeks here, 1 month here in Moscow just to collect and prepare everything. Then you upload your documents on the official website, and the nearest possible date for submission will be after 3 weeks. So that makes 2 months. Again, the main point here is to be really careful with deadlines. All right. So, well, that's why people hire lawyers as well, because you may check the list of documents, say, hey, I can do everything by myself. That's possible, but unfortunately, the devil is in the details. Everything your full name must be the same everywhere. And, well, my suggestion, please don't change your surname. And, I would say approximately 2 months.
Thanks, Michael. And as you see, Michael just spent quite a bit of time explaining that. That's a very careful calculation that we as lawyers and Braiden Consulting, that's what we do. Because this is our area of expertise, to have your personal circumstances adapted to or think that you want the TRP. So there is so many things to have considered before you make the move, and we take care of all of this. This is what we do. As Michael says, we're control freaks in the best way, don't you?
Yes, I constantly say this because we're control freaks in a good way. We try to again start from the very beginning, from the scratch, and then going through all the needed steps. You have so many questions actually, and also as you guys are our participants, our subscribers of this lovely channel group, Welcome to Russia. Also, just first learn a bit more about the place of relocation, right? Because Maria Butina and her team, they make a huge thing. I mean, they just describe about life in Russia, and this is very also important. So and we do our legal stuff. Do you have any other questions that are really important to the subscribers of this group?
Yeah, so for now, we have something about the difference between the status of those, because that's a confusion that happens every so often. Okay. What is the difference between the citizenship, the residence, and the temporary residence?
All right, real quick. The temporary residence permit, RVP, is the very first step. So you having this 702 decree, right? This is the first step on this path of getting citizenship. So first, temporary residence permit is issued for 3 years. Then, after 8 months of holding temporary residence permit, you can apply for a permanent residence permit, which is issued forever. It's called VNJ in Russian language. And after 5 years of holding this VNJ, this permit for residence permit, you can apply for Russian citizenship. So this is the path, this is the road for foreign citizens from so-called unfriendly countries. If they don't have certain legal grounds for simplified procedures. For example, if you're married to a Russian citizen and you have a common child, then you can skip the temporary residence permit stage and apply right away for the VNJ, for the permanent residence permit. So this is the idea. And the difference between, let's say, residency and temporary or permanent one and citizenship is that, well, with residency, you have to be in Russia for at least 6 months within a year, okay? And with citizenship, you can be absent. And obviously with temporary or a permanent residence permit, you cannot vote here. Of course, Russian citizens can vote. This is the difference, I would say. It depends on your personal case, what you actually want to do here. But yeah, getting the 702 visa, relocate to Russia, apply for the temporary residence permit. Then after 8 months for a permanent residence permit, and then after 5 years, you can apply for Russian citizenship.
Thank you so much, Michael. So you already talked about the difficulties that a foreigner may encounter when applying for a temporary residence permit. You've listed a few, but let's just make a complete, like a more complete list in order to have the understanding of the actual scope of the things that can go wrong and the things that one needs to consider when, if taking the decision to applying a loan, but being aware when also working with us as lawyers.
Well, it's a little bit challenging for me to answer here clearly, because I would say everything is very important. It's vital to have, let's say, your full name. Okay, let me just get back to it again. Your full name must match everywhere, because let's say when you arrive in Russia, you'll get your migration card at the border control, the little piece of paper. So your full name there in your visa, in your notarized translation of your passport, it should match everywhere, as well as in your temporary residence permit application form. So, and here we're talking only about your full name. Then let's go further with because in this temporary residence permit application, you have to mention so much information, let's say, about your relatives. So, and it's, I mean, again, the devil's in the details. So you have to be really careful with everything. Well, police clearance certificate. Let's say in the US, they have, and in Canada as well, they have different police clearance certificates. So you have to have the federal level. Okay. So with your fingerprints, the same applies to Canada and US. So everything is really important here. This is the answer, right? Actually, because Ivanna, you're here. Okay, you're here, and let's say medicals. Here in Moscow, we have only 2 accredited medical institutions where you can pass your medical exams, and this is one of the needed documents for the temporary residence permit. Because you may think that, okay, I'll just go to the nearest hospital and I'll just do the HIV test there. But yeah, you can do it. But at the Immigration Authority, they will accept certificates from an accredited place. That's why, answered your question, everything is important here. I just cannot highlight something, something special. This is the thing.
Yes, exactly. That's the issue.
Yeah, please go on. Ivanna, please go on.
Yes, yes, yes. I just wanted to ask everyone just to check on their microphones again, that they're all closed, and just message that they're all muted, and just message in the chat if that's okay.
Yeah, we can go on with the questions if you have certain questions, and then people who are here they may ask also their questions as well.
Yes,
May
of
I
course.
ask a question?
Yeah, please go on.
Who? Yeah,
You.
me.
Yes.
I finished high school, gymnasium 5 years ago, and is it possible to find a job in Russia without college?
May I just ask a few questions, Mr. Yaksha? Could you please tell me what is your citizenship?
Montenegro.
Montenegro, really nice place. And so your question is about work, right? So you're asking how you can officially be hired here in Russia, right?
I didn't hear you.
Okay, no problem. I can just repeat once again. So your question is, can you get hired officially as a citizen of Montenegro, right? Okay, could you please mute your microphone right now, so I would not hear some sort of sounds here, and then I'll just answer your question. Again, you are a citizen of a so-called unfriendly country. Then you have to apply for the temporary residence permit. If you're already here in Russia with any type of visa, you can apply for the temporary residence permit. After you get your residency, then you can get hired like a Russian citizen. So one of the advantages of the residency is that you can get hired officially by a Russian company here if you're recognized as a resident of Russia. If let's say if you're outside of Russia but you want to have work, but you want to work here, then you have to get the work visa. A work visa, a work invitation can be issued only by an employer, so a company. So here you have two options, okay? The very first option is to get a 702 visa, arrive here in Russia, apply for the temporary residence permit, and then you'll have the same legal rights as Russian citizens in terms of employment. Second option is if you're outside of Russia, then you should find a company which is willing to hire you, and this company will issue work invitation so you can get your work visa. We have two types of work visas, a 1-year visa and the highly qualified specialist visa, which is issued for 3 years. Come here and work. So this is the difference between the status of being a resident of Russia, which gives you, all the benefits, except you cannot vote, and work visa. Yes, because only with a work visa you can work here. I saw that Catherine would like to ask some questions, right?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay. I have a question similar to the previous one. I'm interested in teaching English in Russia, potentially. I do not know the language yet, but I'm very motivated to do so. In fact, my father actually visited the former Soviet Union at the time, right before the collapse. So, I've known Russia for some time, a bit here and there, but I was interested in knowing if it's possible to do that. And I'm currently earning my TOEFL certificate, which is internationally recognized to teach English as a foreign language currently. So I was just wondering what that could look like if I could come, maybe, I don't know what status, or is this something, sorry to ramble, but is this something in demand? Is this a skill that would be attractive potentially?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm from the United States, by the way, as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your question. Let me just first just a few questions just to clarify your current situation. So you are a U.S. citizen. You are right now. You are in your home country, and you would like to actually start doing your own private business here, here in Russia. Do you have any valid Russian visa?
No, I'm currently just starting to get TOEFL or like earn that certificate and see where I can teach English. Russia was a country that I was interested in doing so. Also potentially maybe like Kyrgyzstan, which I know is friend to Russia.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I'm like, so it's not a business per se. I know that there's agencies that place people in certain countries to go and teach English for a while. I was seeing if there's any sort of infrastructure potentially in Russia to do so, and if this skill would be attractive. I'm willing to go to any region really and call to do potentially. I was just curious for say if this is something that is feasible. And if something that would be of interest to the market, I suppose. Does that clarify your questions?
Yes, I can just tell you the following thing. For an employer, it's easier to hire a foreign citizen who's having a residency, because issuing a work visa, like work invitation and work visa, is, well, in short, it's kind of a complicated here. So if you want to, English here in Russia, then it's easier for companies to hire you being a resident of Russia. So again, that means that you have to get this shared values visa or any other type of visa, get the police clearance, add that background check with apostille, arrive here and apply for the temporary residence permit. Once you get your residency, that makes your status like, you have the same legal rights in terms of employment. So for a company, let's say an English school, it's much easier to hire you if you are a resident of Russia. The second option here is to get a work visa. So work visa, they have certain, valid time frames, right? Valid periods. So normally a work visa is issued for 1 year, and then you can prolong this visa in Russia. But today's topic is about relocation to Russia using the 702 decree, shared values decree, and applying for the temporary residence permit. So if we would compare these two options, then of course temporary residence permit is much beneficial for you in terms of employment here in Russia. Also, if you don't want to be employed by a company, like hired by a company, a resident of Russia can get the individual entrepreneurship status with lowest possible taxes. So that means that when you get your temporary residence permit, you can register your individual entrepreneurship status. We call it IP in Russian language, and then you can provide your services without a need of being hired by a company. All right.
Okay, thank you. I will think about. I'm interested in relocating too, but I'm in the early stage, so I need to still figure it out. But thank you very much.
I see. Thank you so much. Thank you, пожалуйста. Thank you so much for your question, because just check the Welcome to Russia channel. Also visit our Live and Do Business channel in Russia, Braiden Consulting's channel, because we post on everyday basis some useful information, of course, also about employment here in Russia. So we'll be really happy to help you. Ivanna, do you have some questions for me?
Yes, exactly. So this is just something that was going to tie in what Catherine was saying. So can you work while your TRP is still under consideration?
No, because you're not a resident of Russia. You can get hired or get the individual entrepreneurship status only after you'll be recognized as Russian citizen. Oh, sorry. As a citizen, it's a little bit later. So while you're waiting for the temporary residence permit, officially you cannot get hired by a company. But again, the consideration period is 4 months right now. And like the last, I would say 3 months, I can tell you that actually migration authorities, they have started to work, more efficiently. I mean, they actually make their decisions much faster. Where the client, he's from the US, by the way, and he got his temporary residence permit after like 6 weeks, I think, something like this. I mean, this is incredible. Our client from France, he got his temporary residence permit, I think, like less than 2 months. So again, you'll not be unemployed for a huge amount of time. So yeah.
Good. And now then, can you work in a region different from the one where you have obtained your TRP?
Oh, this is the very good question. Because again, the nature of the temporary residence permit is that it's issued for a certain region. So let's say if you're in St. Petersburg, you'll have your registration, a little piece of paper that indicates the address of your stay. That means that you can apply for the temporary residence permit only in St. Petersburg, and eventually your temporary residence permit will be issued to St. Petersburg. So you, again, this is the nature of this residency. So you should live there. Of course, you're free to travel all around beautiful Russia, but your base for the, let's say, first 3 years would be St. Petersburg, and you can work there. So you can get hired by a company which is registered there. But yeah, let's say if you would get your IP, individual entrepreneurship status, then if it's online, right, if your service is online, of course, you can provide your service for everyone in Russia. But again, temporary residence permit is linked to a certain region. But after 8 months of holding temporary residence permit, you can apply for VNJ, permanent residence permit, and this residency is not linked to a certain region, so you're free to go. So you're free to relocate. So that's why it's so important to first actually decide where do you want to live for the first year, because after 1 year, you can apply for a permanent one.
Great, thank you so much. And I would just like to remind that if you would like to ask a question, you're welcome to just unmute your microphone and go ahead. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, hi. This is Matteo.
Hello, Matteo.
Hi. I am right now in Nizhny Novgorod, and I have all my documents already prepared. And the problem is that the migration office in Nizhny Novgorod is right now not taking any applications. So for the last 2 weeks, they are just like 2 migration officers, and the one is on vacation and the other one is sick. So actually, and it's like, and it's this uncertainty when they are gonna like, process all the documents. Thanks.
Well, really, really interesting situation. First of all, Nizhny Novgorod is a really nice area. There's a company there, AK, and they provide legal services, especially in this region, in Nizhny Novgorod. Of course, we consulting can also provide some services in Nizhny Novgorod as well, but maybe you can contact these guys. They're professionals as well, and because they focus on this particular region, Nizhny Novgorod, and maybe they could help you with these technical, issues. And secondly, when people tell me that they have all the documents, well, this is very good, but we strongly advise to start working with us if it's possible from the very beginning, because when people come to us on the halfway, if they have some of the documents, then actually we have to, we have to do more, because in 90% of cases we have to redo some of the documents, and it's wasting time, energy, and funds. I cannot tell you for sure what's happening in the exact migration authority in Nizhny Novgorod. More that different, migration authorities in different Russian regions, they have different approaches, different visions of how to actually handle the acceptance procedure, right? Moscow, St. Petersburg, Izhevsk, Vladikavkaz, Nizhny Novgorod, they have different internal rules. So this is the thing. But anyways, you're free to text to us. You may just directly contact me describing your situation, because we provide all consultations free of charge. If we can help you with just a piece of advice, we'll do that. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you right away what's happening with these two guys at the Migration Authority in Nizhny Novgorod. I do believe that's yeah, please go on.
I'm sorry. I'm not, but I'm working with OCAR agency already. So this is actually the information that I got from OCAR agency. And, but still, I provided like all the documents that you are talking about, to OCAR, and, I'm actually in contact with OCAR, and, OCAR is, was telling me that, about the situation, and I'm like a little bit getting nervous because I'm on a tourist visa for like 3 months, and 2 months are already gone. So so I'm a little bit nervous. So that they not even have started the TRP process because the migration office is like sort of not available.
Yeah, gotcha. Thank you so much for this update, for this feedback about this particular region. What I can say, you may just again text me directly. Also, Maria Butina's team, they provide real, help to foreign citizens in such, messy situations, and we'll be really happy to help you and find out what's going on with the migration authorities there in Nizhny Novgorod. And again, thank you so much for the information. We'll just, we'll think about what can we do for you. Okay. I just wanted to mention that we'll have, I would say, near like 10 minutes or so. So we're about to finish our consultation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask right now.
Hello, may I ask a question?
Thank you very much. This was very helpful. I will just contact you afterwards.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Mike. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Looking forward. Yes, please, the next person.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon or good evening. I'd like to know, like, I'm married to a Russian lady. I've been married to her for 17 years. Yeah. So we've been married for a very long time. If I move to Russia, would I still need medical insurance and stuff like that? And you understand, like I was reading that one needs medical insurance, but seeing that my wife is Russian, would I get, like she gets in my country, free medical insurance, free medical?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for your question. When answering your question, well, first, that's on your status. So if you are a resident of Russia, then you'll get the we call it OMS. So it's the, well, I would say like obligatory medical care, right? So all of Russian citizens have the same insurance policy. It's called OMS. So you have two options here. If you're married to a Russian citizen for more than 3 years, you can apply for the temporary residence permit on the ground of your marriage. And in this case, you have to pass Russian language, history, and legislation exam. If you're a citizen of unfriendly country, then you can apply on the ground of shared values, and you don't have to pass Russian language, history, and legislation exam. And Obviously, as I can see, you share traditional and family values because you're married to a Russian citizen. Well, after you get a residency, you can get this medical insurance, which is just completely free. And yeah, I'm not the expert here, but it covers like 90% of cases. If you have your, let's say, a family visa, then if you would like to have insurance, you can just buy an insurance. It's not that actually, it's not costly. So we have like a couple of minutes. Yes, please.
Michael, yes. Michael, can I ask a question, immigration-related question?
Yes, sure, please.
My name is Julia. You know us, Håkan and Julia. We live in Voronezh. So we have a friend here who arrived yesterday from Sweden, and he wants to apply he's on e-visa, which is only 16 days. When he tried to apply for regular tourist visa, which gives him more time in the country, the embassy in Stockholm does not have that mean for certain reasons, known reasons right now, right, with difficult situations. He applied several times to visa to allow him to stay longer so he can complete this process, but he was not unable. And when he emailed several times to embassy, they told him and pushed him back to e-visa, which only gives him 16 days, -3 by now. He has no opportunity to complete the process. Meanwhile, on the bad advice, some people-to-people talk. Someone told him he does not need an apostille for his criminal record. We do have it in PDF file, in PDF format from authority in Sweden, but not in the wet signature. What can he extend his e-visa stay by filing waiting document on humanitarian purpose?
Thank you so much, Julie, for your question. Could you please mute your microphone? All right, thank you. So first, that's why people hire lawyers. That's why we recommend to start working with us from the very beginning, because here everything is completely incorrect. First, with the e-visa, a foreign citizen cannot apply for any residency. Secondly, e-visa cannot be extended. So he definitely needs to go back to his home country. Go back to his home country, and better to get the 702 visa. If he has some sort of problems with communication, with the consulate service of Russia in Sweden, then I suggest so he could just he would contact me directly, and first I will provide the free consultation for him and describe the whole procedure. All the steps that he'll need to take, because he also can apply with a tourist visa, but it's better to get the 702 visa. And Russian consulate service in all the countries all around the world issue the 702 visa. About the apostille, well, of course he has to have the real apostille on his police clearance certificate, and this certificate is valid only for 90 days starting from the date of its production. So again, my recommendation here is to text us, and tomorrow I'll be really happy to discuss his current situation, desired goal, and steps that are needed to be taken. All right, Ivanna, so I think that we're at the final stage here with our consultation. Did you have the very last question so we could just end up here?
There are some questions, but I think we're just going to make a list of them, and we're going to get them answered in the chat tomorrow, just to have a more detailed explanation for everything, just so we don't, so we give proper feedback. So thank you so much, Michael. Thank you everybody for joining. It was a great pleasure. We really loved this experience, and we would like to kind of make this more often. So we're going to be looking into really making something else. So please stay updated with our channels, with Maria Butina's Welcome to Russia channel, and stay updated. Take a look at what's on offer and move to Russia. Stay with Braiden Consulting and Maria Butina and move to Russia.
Thanks to Maria Butina and her team. Lovely channel, Welcome to Russia. Please subscribe. Tell your friends, neighbors to subscribe to this awesome channel. And don't forget to also, check our Telegram channel, which is Live and Do Business in Russia. We post useful information on everyday basis. We provide free consultations, and we just want you to to the real nice time in Russia, whether you're a tourist, whether you work here, you're a student, or you want to relocate to Russia. Raise your children here. And thank you so much. Thanks to everyone, subscribers of this lovely channel. We'll be in touch, and stay tuned to this channel. And guys, welcome to Russia to you all. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Take care. Take care. Take care. Bye. Bye.